Hello everyone, welcome to another YouTube video for Programming 2. This is for week 10. So suppose we're in a situation where we have an array list of strings such as this. Now you can instantiate a list just by giving it a primitive array filled with different values, and these are strings in particular. And suppose we want to write a method that would remove strings that are less than or equal to 3 characters, or other words, we just want to keep the strings that are longer than 3 characters. Well, we know that we can iterate through the array by doing this. So for each string in a list, if we just wanted to do a system out and print out that string, it would look something like this here. Hello world, how are you? But if we wanted to remove a string, if it's less than or equal to 3 characters long, then we want to remove it, let's say. Then we have something like this, I just say list dot remove that string. But we very quickly realize that there's something not quite right about this. And in fact, when we run this, we get a concurrent modification exception, which basically means is that we're iterating through the list, but we're changing it at the same time. And Java can't keep track of this, so it essentially throws an exception. It basically means that it doesn't know which element to give you next because you've modified the array. So to fix this, I mean, this is a rather intuitive thing to do. Go through a list and cross out all the ones that you don't want. And the best way to do this is using a list iterator object. So you can ask any list for its list iterator. So get or just list iterator, and that returns a list iterator object. So we can type this, and it's going to be giving us strings. So because we're storing strings, and we're going to be using this for strings. So the way that we use an iterator is we basically ask it while you still have something in the list to give us. While iterator has a next element to give, we can ask it what it is. Iterator.next. So that gives us this object, and we can do like we did before, a system.out.println, and this is exactly the same as we did just with a for loop. But now what we can do is actually modify the list, and the iterator object will take care of it. So what we have to do is ask the iterator to remove something. If s is less, if s dot length is less than or equal to 3, then do something. So let's say we don't want those elements, and we just ask the iterator object to remove it. So we're going to remove that current object. So let's see what happens, and look at the console output. So here, as you can see, hello world, how are you, is now just hello world you, and this is 4 characters long, so it's removed how and are, and you'll notice of course there's no error. And this is the correct way to iterate through a collection and modify it according to some sort of criteria. Now suppose that we don't only want to remove it, but maybe we want to modify these elements. Maybe we want to make them uppercase, for instance. So how would we do that? Well, we can still remove the element, and we could just say add it again, and maybe we want to add the uppercase to uppercase. So now we remove this s element. This is the next element, and then we simply add it. We uppercase it and then add it again to the list. And the iterator handles all of the mechanics in terms of keeping track of the positions of the elements. So if we run that again, we then get hello world, and then these are, instead of removed, they're removed and then added as uppercase strings. So that's a very simple way of modifying a list while we're still using it. And in the lectures this week, I show you an example in the hash set class, which only can remove elements. And in fact, we can't add them again because we have to use a special type of iterator for sets, because as you know, a set is not a list. It doesn't keep the elements in an order, so we can't add again to it. But there's ways around that, of course. So that's just a quick video for today to show you that, and I'll see you in the lectures and labs. Bye.